Billions of taxpayer money are being used to aid terrorist groups such as Hamas, Taliban. You have some amazing characters here. All of them have been receiving money. In fact, I'm going to go so far as to say that somebody in USAID was deliberately supplying arms and ammunition to the other side so that the effectiveness of the Israeli army could be contained. And these are all true blood Americans. Can you believe this? Well, I'm going to share a slide deck with you. After seeing that, I hope you will understand how deep the nexus is, how deep the rot runs, how powerful the foreign aid lobby organizations are in Washington, D.C., all this and more. Please like this video. I have a very small slide deck to share with you where I'm going to share the critical information and how this has come to light now. Here we go. Billions in taxpayer funds aiding terrorist groups. USAID appears to be the prime culprit in terms of getting the money across. Two US lawmakers, Tim Burchett and Marjorie Taylor Greene, both are Republicans, claim that 40 million per week is still being sent to Afghanistan, where the Taliban are profiting from the funding. My information actually is 85 million, not 40 million. This information you can check. Major General Rajiv Narayanan has mentioned this a couple of times in our hangouts. So that is my information. So somewhere another 45 million is also getting topped up. We don't know from where that is coming. The US assistance has also gone to Al-Shabaab in Somalia, Hamzi Network in Sudan, Hamas, Islamic Jihad, Hezbollah, Kataiba Hezbollah, and Hayat al-Qudr in Syria. Waivers were granted under emergency use provisions, bypassing normal vetting procedures for aid recipients. Now, since October 7, 2023, the US has sent $2.1 billion of taxpayer money to Gaza following Hamas's invasion of Israel. That means half of that would have gone to this leadership that is sitting in Qatar. Due to emergency waivers, 90% of US aid sent to Gaza bypassed standard screening procedures, allowing funds to reach Hamas-controlled areas. See, there could be another nexus here. The military manufacturing group in the United States will only thrive if there are wars somewhere here or the other. So arm both sides and let's see who kills whom. There was no strategic planning in place to prevent Hamas from benefiting from US aid. US financial aid sustained Hamas until a recent ceasefire, with no measures taken to cut off support. Some of the US aid money was allegedly used to fund weapons, including AK-47s, SKS rifles, snipers, and landmines. USAID Administrator Samantha Power was allegedly focused on limiting Israel's ability to defend itself while ensuring aid continued to flow to Gaza. You know, one of the things that happened, remember that Iron Dome technology? Well, what used to happen was the number of missiles launched to bring down the drones and other missiles from, say, Hezbollah or Hamas or from Houthis, the initial cost was very high. Then the Israelis figured out a cheaper way. They started using lasers to take them down. So this play is happening. Israel is developing its own technology. Likewise, I told you yesterday, Ukraine is developing its own drone technology that doesn't require the thousands of dollars per unit cost. So everywhere people are also self-sustaining some of these things. So this US aid is a nonsense. And I don't know where Samantha Power is going to go and hide her face. I would like to see her in orange jump clothes. We'll see how it goes. USAID funds private lobbyists who then pressure Congress to allocate more money for USAID, creating a self-sustaining funding cycle. Instead of aligning with US national security interests, USAID has allegedly assisted groups hostile to US allies like Israel. US aid programs have allegedly strengthened China's influence, particularly through green energy initiatives and social engineering policies. Some countries, like South Africa, automatically get US aid, regardless of lobbying efforts. And only now, Marco Rubio has said that he is not going to be attending the G20 meeting being hosted by South Africa. So the realization is coming. Oh, by the way, I have to tell you one more thing. Now it looks like Elon Musk has the measure of how government funds all these different dubious groups, NGOs, and so on and so forth. And that is freaking out the Democrat. They're really on a rant because they had all these things laid out. This guy hides his hand, puts it to somebody else. That person goes and starts a shell corporation. Money goes in, money comes out. Somewhere, and the Tides Foundation, Equality Labs, Inequality Garbage, whatever you want to call it. All these people, they're all going to be on the dole. And I hope the taxpayer does not give any of the money to these. These are ingrates, and these people don't deserve a cent of the US taxpayer. Lobbyists have opposed HR 160, a bill designed to increase transparency in USAID funding to overseas organizations. Of course, they would oppose it, wouldn't they? HR 160 is a proposed transparency bill. It was designed to improve oversight of terror financing investigations, but faced opposition from foreign aid lobbyists. No surprise there. This is going to happen. From the first term of Trump, there was a regulation that required all individuals handling US aid in terror-prone areas to be screened through terrorist databases. The Biden administration overturned that terrorist database screening requirement, increasing the risk of aid reaching extremist groups. Terrorist groups exploit USAID's lack of oversight, allowing US taxpayer dollars to be funneled into extremist networks. Some Washington-based groups actively lobby for foreign aid, despite evidence of its misuse by terrorist organizations. I told you how many times the CAIRs of the world, the alphabet soup organizations of the world, all of them belong in jail. Those who are found caught with their hand in the cookie jar. Ilhan Omar's group. Oh my God, I can just go on and on. We have been saying this for 2-3 years now. Biden administration was completely deaf and dumb too. And hopefully now these can of worms will be opened now, and hopefully justice will be done. A committee member urged legislators to focus on facts and reduce political rhetoric, citing death threats received by both himself and the chairwoman. You should take a look at the reference link that is provided in the description section to understand what this is. The lawmakers are pushing for greater transparency and accountability in foreign aid spending to prevent indirect support for terrorism. What's the conclusion? The lack of oversight. The lack of oversight in US foreign aid has allegedly enabled terrorist groups to access funds, with legislative efforts to increase transparency facing resistance. There are growing calls for stricter regulations and better vetting of aid recipients to prevent further misuse of taxpayer money. This can't come soon enough, guys, and I'm aghast as to how many things are coming out. And now DOJ has actually got access to many departments. A few are holding out, but I think that will be resolved in this week. Let's hope and wait and see how this plays out. Also, I have a very important monologue on what has been happening in the courts. I will be presenting that soon. It may come before this or it may come after this, but just stay tuned. Thanks for watching. Please like, share, and subscribe to our channel. Don't forget to click on the bell button and click on all for notifications. Namaskar.